Spotify now lets you place entire hit songs in your episodes with monetization options and no licensing fees. Yes, there's a twist, but this might be the biggest change to hit podcasting since, well, podcasting. Hello and welcome to another Podcast Pontifications with me, Evo Terra. Yesterday, Spotify removed a seemingly unmovable object that some say has plagued podcasting since the beginning of podcasting. And that is music licensing. From the start, podcasters, some successfully, most dismal failures, have wanted to play licensed commercial music, the things you hear on the radio and you have in your CD collection on their shows. But that has been verboten because you don't have the rights to broadcast or even podcast that material. So, back in the day, many podcasters who wanted also to be music podcasters had to satisfy themselves with using what we called pod-safe music. Music that was Creative Commons licensed or something else that would allow us to play that music. And that was fun. Hi, C.C. Chapman from Accident Hash, one of the probably biggest purveyors of that. And a few, like Brian Ibbott from Coverville, managed to navigate their way through the crazy licensing structure and were able to, and are still able to, after like 1,000 or so episodes, wow, Coverville's doing great, continue to play commercial music. For the rest of us, it's been one of those dark gray areas. Look, it's illegal to play content on your podcast you do not have the explicit rights to. And just because you bought a CD or downloaded an album online doesn't mean you have the rights to rebroadcast it, right? Bingo. All of that went away yesterday. All of it went away yesterday because Spotify has just unveiled something that they're calling shows with music. Just came out yesterday. If you go to pull up your Spotify app right now, on the homepage, there's a section on your app in the phone. Browser is a different thing, and desktop app's a different thing. But on the phone, at least in the iOS, you can see shows with music. And there are 7, or there were last night, and were this morning when I checked, 7 different shows with music that Spotify is featuring. Because they're allowing anybody now to create episodes of shows with music that have complete songs from the Spotify library, which is what, 50 bazillion titles? Everything? What's not in Spotify, right? The number of songs that aren't in Spotify are vastly smaller than the number of songs that are. Now, I listened to all of these shows with music last night, every single one of them, and I really enjoyed them. Some more than others, but they were all really great. Really, really great. Now, before I get into why I'm so excited about this, let me call in too closely. If you're a podcaster out there who's thinking, I want to talk to you for just a minute. Just me and you. Real talk here for a second. Okay, guys, ready? Here it is. Be quiet for just a moment. This isn't about you. This is about something new. We need to let it happen. Your arguing, complaining isn't helping right now. Save it for just a little bit, okay? All right, for everybody else out there, here's why I'm so excited about these new shows with music, as Spotify calls them. Number 1, this is the first spinoff of podcasting that I can think of, that I've seen. We've had a lot of small things try and spin off here and there, and a few things that are tangentially related, but this to me is the first major spinoff podcasting has had. To me, we are in Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok territory with this. These new shows with music will be as different as those new video platforms, those new social media, networky type things, kind of an amalgamation of both. That's how I'm thinking about these. When you think about what we've had as creators to do audio-only content for forever, two options, right? I mean, radio, sure, but internet radio, pay-to-play radio, or the vanishingly small number of people who actually get paid to have a radio show, and podcasting. That was it. Forget the failed Twitter, Periscope, light audio thing they've been trying to do, which continues to drop, and a few that have other ones. They're just not there. But this is a way now you can actually make a show that people want to subscribe to and listen to that heavily features music. That's important for reason number 2. I think more people want to be DJs than want to be talk show hosts. I think there are a handful of us out there, working podcasters who are listening right now, who like to be talk show hosts, but many people also want to be DJs. They want to showcase their favorite music. They want to curate content and make that what they want people to listen to, and they want to talk about it. That's really what they want to do, is they want to be a DJ more than they want to be a talk show host. Third thing that I'm excited about. This will eventually mean we have less crappy podcasts to wade through. I know I'm a crazy person when I say that, but all of the reasons I just mentioned, or both of the reasons I just mentioned, the idea that this is much more like an Instagram or a Snapchat or a TikTok. This is becoming, and this will become, an influencer magnet because of the monetization angle. Because you get to play entire songs that you can't do anywhere else, right? No over-talking. It's not like a radio show where the DJ comes on and ignores you or talks over the song and ruins your experience. I think the influencers are going to flock heavily to this, and I think they'll be rewarded as much as they're rewarded in every other medium. And I think that will cause the people who are kind of half-assing the podcasting thing via Anchor and other cheap tools to get things into the Spotify ecosystem, I think a lot of them will change focus now and switch to the music idea because it's a whole lot easier, number one, and it might be more likely what they want to do. Now, a couple of use cases that excite me about this, and I want to talk about some podcasters specifically. I'll name 2 of them by name. One is my good friend, Donna Magavro. Hi, Donna, misinfo. Donna is tangentially related to podcasting. She doesn't have a podcast. She's been on lots of podcasts, and she helps produce a very popular podcast. I'll talk about that one next. But Donna is a consummate music, what's the word I'm looking for? Curator, I guess, right? She's got impeccable taste. She does a radio show every other weekend or so locally and plays all sorts of weird, crazy music. That's great. But she has to follow that radio format. Donna would be great. I've asked her so many times to curate her list as a Spotify playlist, but now getting it as a full show that I can listen to would be wonderful. So Donna, if you're listening, which you will be because I'm going to tag you in this, yeah, this is something for you. Tangential to Donna, or next door to Donna, is George Hrab, my friend, and also the host of the Geologic podcast. George is a musician, and his episodes of his show oftentimes feature music. His music, yes, but also other music he'd like to play from the band, yes, but he can't because of licensing regulations. So not only could George use this, but I don't want him to shut down his podcast. George does every couple of weeks this live video thing called 13 Songs with George Hrab, where he talks about songs, and holy cow, this guy's encyclopedic knowledge of how music is made and what went into making the song itself from the people, as well as just the theory behind the notes, blows everybody's mind in the chat room. I want George making a version of 13 songs with, instead of him playing the covers, which I totally enjoy and love, I want to see a version of 13 Songs with George Hrab where he plays the actual track and then does all that deep gushing of musical knowledge in between. So fantastic. Here's the podcast implications to you, working podcaster. Are you ready? None. This has no negative implications for you, working podcaster, and probably not even positive implications. Look, I'm not going to go create one of these shows. I'm not going to stop doing podcast pontification so I can become a music curator. Of course, if you're podcasting about music, then many people do, or in the music business, this might cause you to think about multiple distribution channels. Your regular main podcast where you talk around things, and then this new Spotify-only show with music where you actually showcase the product. So exciting. I can't tell you how thrilled I am that this is happening right now. I think it's going to be a massive change to how we address podcasting. Right, okay. As I mentioned previously, I'm going on break for November and December, so if you want to help, if you want to actually put out an episode, get in touch with me, evo@simpler.media, buymeacoffee.com/evoterra if you want to support the show, and as always, tell a friend about Podcast Pontification. That's the only way that this show grows. Thanks for your attention. Go play with the Spotify shows with music, and I shall be back Monday, because I take off on Fridays and then the whole weekend. So I'll see you on Monday for another Podcast Pontifications. Cheers!